The OCG has all sorts of trends that you can kind of keep an eye on and see, what's going on here? And we're here to answer that question for today's Market Watch. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more Oz content. So Book of Lunar Eclipse and Book of Eclipse are both being cards that are starting to be cited very heavily now in the OCG as outs to the Shangri-La or Shangri-La deck, because blinking down on Walking Talking Macrocosmo and something that just blinked all of your monster zones. Yeah, you can definitely tell that there's been large movements. All of these today, by the way, or yesterday. Look at these 75s, 69s, $80. Yeah, all sorts of movements here. You have two unverifieds here, and you chug up to 85, 90, 91, 92, up, and it's going. The secret rares, on the other hand, are very, very affordable. Nothing real changey here on the side, which is pretty interesting, to say the least. And then the Book of Eclipse is here from Astropack, also starting to disappear and ramp up. This has been going up for a day or two here. So, light plays moved at 223, 248, 121. But for the most part here, yeah, same thing. Lowest near mints right now look like they're about $3, give or take. So, if you're somebody out here that likes looking at the trends, I mean, obviously this does have the dude version. There's plenty of those on the market, but you know how Yu-Gi-Oh players look at the higher rarity cards, and they're like, all right, I'd prefer to go after this. Shatterfoils are actually relatively cheap. Normally Shatterfoils are one of the first things that I see tend to disappear off of the market, and that actually hasn't happened on this right now. So, whole purpose of this, you flip down the Shangri-La board and then move along with your day. Most builds, though, are focusing more on Book of Eclipse versus the Lunar Eclipse, but that's not to say that both versions aren't seeing some sort of play. So you can get supers down here for Book of a Lunar Eclipse from this year's tins for literally nothing if you want to have a play set of these ready to go in case, the trend ends up doing its thing here. So definitely keep an eye on that, all right? Next up here, DD Dynamite. So, interesting things that I've seen Runic doing in the OCG. Runic is actually playing DD Dynamite here as a side card to kind of win the game. Inflict 300 damage to your opponent for each of their removed from play cards. Well, let's think about this. If they're on 20 banished cards times 300, it's like 6,000 damage for no real reason. All right, you kind of start to see this. You get an extra win con while trying to close out the game. All right, and especially if you're citing 3 of these in, well, congratulations. Now you've expedited the process. You just have to be able to get to 2 of these to kind of win the game, and it's definitely something that we're seeing here. I mean, look at those first edition copies ramp up. Near mints, $4 or $5. Traditionally, though, plenty of other copies. How do you have 59 mod play copies? But yeah, you're looking at $2-ish to $3 post for unlimbs for the structure deck of the Emperors. But yeah, this is another one of those cards. Once again, if you're playing Runic and you want a more, side engine to get the job done, this is definitely something for you. With the new Talents card coming out, I have to give a nod back to Talents here as well, because this card is always going to be, you can search this now off of the Talents after your opponent does something. Alright, and then you get to, use one of the devastating effects of this. Your max rarity version of this, still $750, $730. I see some light play sold for $630. That's not bad. Some German copies still looking a little bit cheap here. Get 3 Portuguese copies for $690, but English copies going to run you about $735 for near mint. That one's not really calmed down all that much. $53 for original secrets. 10 versions are $13, and then you can get these cheaper elsewhere besides TCG Player here, but we've traditionally seen $9 talents off of pre-sales for Maven, so you've got plenty of copies that you can go around and pick up and then be fine with. All right, so do keep in mind that new Talents card is coming out, so you won't need multiple copies of Talents. I mean, most of the builds as of late have just been playing 2 copies of Talents, so kind of keep that in mind in terms of value treeing here. And of course, Shangri-La cards. There's always going to be a couple of interesting things on the market that you might want to keep an eye on. Especially, you love those Exceed monsters. All right. Traditionally, you can get Very, very cheap copies of these. I love the light plays, man. Unlim's half of the price of the first eds. Oh my gosh, no, it's so much cheaper than the first. The first ed's $27, $29 for a near mint, and then you can get an unlim for $9. I kind of wonder which one is the real go-to here for that value. That's not exactly good in my opinion, but all right, a little bit expensive. You can get the Megaton versions for $6. Wow, okay, so you can get kind of a first ed. You can get a rare for 20 cents, or you can get a super for, 50 cents. You have a lot of, different versions available to you. And if you're just somebody, once again, enjoys wanting to get ahead of the curve without going for true max rarity, you have the opportunity to do so. Literal pennies on the dollar. So, next up was the Titanic Moth. If you control no other monsters, this card can attack directly, but when it does so using this effect, battle damage becomes half, so you can get 1,200 damage on your opponent. When this card inflicts damage to your opponent, you detach a material from this card, inflict 500 damage to your opponent for each card in their hand. I know that this has been going up. I traditionally don't think that this card is super good. I understand you have room for it. You can get Italian copies here for 90 cents. English copy is going to cost you $1.25 on up to, $2-ish, really depending. If you've got room in your extra deck for Chantrey-La, then yes, I think that this is a card that you can afford to play. But if you're trying not to, I don't think I would go too crazy on this one. At most, it is a 1-0. All right, moving on along here. Hope Mr. Utopic Draco themselves. Your your collector's rare has just plummeted. $71, $70, $72. I bring this up because I've seen some of the Chantrey-La decks in the OCG actually making this, because weirdly enough, you don't have to play all number monsters in order to capitalize and, step on in to the big guy. All right, obviously your summoning conditions through the regular F-Zero are going to be what you're going to use to step into this, but to be honest with you, it is definitely quite an interesting little card for you to use. Your regular F-Zeros, looks like we've been going back up. $19, $20, $21. Still looks like it's about $20 for the most part on the market here, but once again, keep an eye on this. Your regular F-Zeros, still pretty cheap actually. If you really want a secret copy, you can definitely tell they've been up for a little while. $5. So yeah, keep an eye on those, ladies and gentlemen. Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries. Keep in mind that we do have the Ulti coming out here very soon. Traditionally, the Ulti will probably be the most expensive, but your Shining Victories first edition copies are still going to be the one thing that, players are going to look at, because first edition Ghost Girl. These are still $12 for first deck copies, by the way. Nothing really has changed for that, which is quite impressive at the end of the day. So, that's amazing. Exosister cards. Magnificas, 180s. Marthas, 175s. Mikhails, $50. Ugh. How the mighty have gone down. Packs still look like they're, what, 44? No. 34. Wow. Yeah, Pax has gone down pretty far. Sophia's still $30. $14 now for regular packs. Yeah, the mighty are falling pretty quickly here. Tetsudo Irat Newman. These are down to $7. This is actually quite good. I'm glad to see that these are calming down, even though this did see a lot of play. So, definitely interesting. Now, I saw the first little chunk of OTS cards pop up on eBay. I was kind of curious. Wanted to check this out. These Ulti Italian Alubers, $94. A little bit expensive, but man, you can tell that foiling looks gorgeous. Like, absolutely. The option token also showed up. I was kind of curious to see what this looked like, but these are what, like $6? Disregard the shipping, I don't care about that. I'm just here to look at current listing prices for these. And then there was a Neko Main King that showed up for $10 out of OP20. So just a little bit of a interesting look at what's going on there. So what do you guys think? Please leave a comment down below telling me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here in the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank ya!
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.